Well, if he didn't kill the little girls, who did? Dean asked. I shook my head. Someone else. Someone white would be my best guess. The prosecutor made a big deal about how it would have taken a strong man to kill a dog as big as the one the Detericks kept, but that's crap, Brutus rumbled. A strong 12-year-old girl could break a big dog's neck, if she took the dog by surprise and knew where to grab. If coffee didn't do it, it could have been damned near anyone, any man, that is. We'll probably never know, I said, unless he does it again. We wouldn't know even then, if he did it down Texas or over in California, Harry said. Brutal leaned back, screwed his fists into his eyes like a tired child, then dropped them into his lap again. This is a nightmare, he said. We've got a man who may be innocent, who probably is innocent, and he's going to walk the Green Mile just as sure as God made tall trees and little fishes. What are we supposed to do about it? If we start in with that healing fingers shit, everyone is going to laugh their asses off, and he'll end up in the fryo later just the same. Let's worry about that later, I said, because I didn't have the slightest idea how to answer him. The question right now is what we do, or don't do, about Melly. I'd say step back and take a few days to think it over, but I believe every day we wait raises the chances that he won't be able to help her. Remember him holding his hands out for the mouse? Brutal asked. Give him to me while there's still time, he said. While there's still time. I remember. Brutal considered, then nodded. I'm in. I feel bad about Dell, too, but mostly I think I just want to see what happens when he touches her. Probably nothing will, but maybe. I doubt like hell we even get the big dummy off the block, Harry said, then sighed and nodded. But who gives a shit? Count me in. Me, too, Dean said. Who stays on the block, Paul? Do we draw straws for it? No, sir, I said. No straws. You stay. Just like that? The hell you say? Dean replied, hurt and angry. He whipped off his spectacles and began to polish them furiously on his shirt. What kind of a bum deal is that? The kind you get if you're young enough to have kids still in school, Brutal said. Harry and me's bachelors. Paul's married, but his kids are grown and off on their own, at least. This is a mucho crazy stunt we're planning here. I think we're almost sure to get caught. He gazed at me soberly. One thing you didn't mention, Paul, is that if we do manage to get him out of the slam and then Coffee's healing fingers don't work, Hal Moores is apt to turn us in himself. He gave me a chance to reply to this, maybe to rebut it, but I couldn't, and so I kept my mouth shut. Brutal turned back to Dean and went on. Don't get me wrong, you're apt to lose your job, too, but at least you'd have a chance to get clear of prison if the heat really came down. Percy's going to think it was a prank. If you're on the duty desk, you can say you thought the same thing and we never told you any different. I still don't like it, Dean said, but it was clear he'd go along with it, like it or not. The thought of his kiddies had convinced him. And it's to be tonight? You're sure? If we're going to do it, it had better be tonight, Harry said. If I get a chance to think about it, I'll most likely lose my nerve. Let me be the one to go by the infirmary, Dean said. I can do that much at least, can't I? As long as you can do what needs doing without getting caught, Brutal said. Dean looked offended, and I clapped him on the shoulder. As soon after you clock in as you can, all right? You bet. My wife popped her head through the door as if I'd given her a cue to do so. Who's for more iced tea? She asked brightly,